How are you? We got something for you today. I'll send it. Give me till Thursday, cause we had a whole box of stuff, but we got acknowledgement today, so I'll send it later on. Hi everyone. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. My younger brother, my younger brother used to sing that song. Growing. Hello, Miss Illinois Sanctuary. How are you? @boo_confido. Good evening. Yes, I think it's the that initial stuff they send when they acknowledge yada yada yada. Yeah, like that. But Akonji, how are you? Hi, TikTok family, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yo, let's grow my YouTube community. Come on, you've got to subscribe to a YouTube channel. If you go on YouTube, just type in Olale Immigration. I will be. Miss Avena, don't start. Just leave us alone. Don't even let it see. We didn't win. That's okay. Don't start. Leave it alone. Wait. Let's even. I digress, Miss Avena. So since you want to start that, since you want to start, please, what does Ghana have to do with what happened on Sunday? Like y'all, because you see, we're about to drag you now. Because if people from Ivory Coast start talking, right, I can understand. What does Ghana have to do with what happened Sunday? Y'all didn't even make it that far. Like, hello, okay, don't get me started. Exactly. See, I argue for a living, like professional arguer. Anyway, so let's build our YouTube community. Please subscribe to YouTube channel. Exactly. Kilo Fatigana, what's going on? Waiting concern agree with overload. Autorentoring for the lenton lo panadol. What? Why did y'all decide to drag us after this? Listen. Just let's leave Sunday alone because I just turned the whole video TV on like what's going on. But anyway, listen, at least we went home with some medal. Killer Ini, what did you get? What did you get? Because I'm here for it all day. I'm still very, very salty from Sunday, so just leave it alone. But anyway, this is attorney Abisola Adepola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. If it's a case that we handle, we can and do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. All right. So contact information is 334-341-4475. Website is olalelawfirm.com. You can schedule your consultation directly from the website. You can call our office to do that. We'll send you the information needed. That's the first step you would take in order to have your case evaluated and discussed at our firm. So we'll be glad to help you out. And please let me clarify something, because we have lots of people who will call back and like, "See, lawyer, money consultation green last year. I have some follow-up questions." Your follow-up questions will require a new consultation. Just to be clear, the consultation is a one-time service. It's not an ongoing service. It's a one-time thing. The same way you go to your doctor's office, where because you paid for an office visit 2 years ago doesn't mean you're not going to pay for office visit the next day you go there. It's the same thing. So as long as you're not a client yet, it's not mobile 6. No, that doesn't work that way, right? So just to be clear, because we've been getting quite a bit of that, like, and it's very clear when you schedule, like, it's a one-time service. You get your what you pay for, and we move forward from there. So we'll be glad to evaluate your case for you. Some of the cases that we handle include H-1B, and yes, H-1B registration period is going to start next month, the first week in March. H-1B is a non-immigrant visa for those who have U.S. employers willing to sponsor them. And they do the registration period, the selection happens, and then you're informed whether or not you're selected. So that's that on that. If once again, it's 334-341-4475, info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕.com. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Immigration is our username on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All right, people, how was your weekend? My enemies, my friend. We'll get to that later. How was everybody's weekend? I mean, this is Tuesday. No, on Sunday. Let's call it spade a spade. I truly thought we are going to win, but I was like, when we equalize, okay, there's still time. And then as soon as it was 2, I'm like, well, can you listen? What we're doing? It was like, oh, do me. I don't know. I don't think there's any Nigerian that likes losing. We're just a feisty group of people that we don't take losing lightly. No, but it is what it is. Life goes on. Well, we tried. At least we got to the top 2, so that's life. But anyway, let's talk immigration, everyone. So if you need to contact us, once again, if you are on YouTube and Facebook, contact information is scrolling across the screen. Miss Avena's got you on YouTube as well. TikTok, if you go on the very top of the comment section, you will see our contact information. And on Instagram, Miss Eleanor's has that as well. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Ain't that shit? And you love our people. Kill planning. Our solo single. We will be here. We're rooting for all of you that will be. Hopefully some of you haven't broken up, because some people are cheap, like some men are cheap, not African men, but I don't know. They break up with you before Valentine's and then they make up with you after, right? Isn't that how it works? I don't know. I've been out of the dating scene for God knows how long. So, but for all of you that are getting ready for Valentine's Day tomorrow, let's talk immigration. Let's talk fiance visa, remarriage, and Vawa. Fiance visa, remarriage, and Vawa. So I've seen last week and this week, actually yesterday, I think I had 2 of my consults had to do with people who came into the country. We're single ladies now. 2 people who came to the country on K1 visas, and one of them was ill-informed so that relationship did not work out. He got divorced from the person who filed his K1 visa for him, got married to somebody else, and that new spouse filed for him. And unfortunately, USCIS denied his case. Why was his case denied? That's one of the things we're going to talk about. So whenever you have, so in celebration of, or in honor of Valentine's Day tomorrow, we're talking fiance visa, love visa, who qualifies, when you come here, what has to happen, and what if the marriage doesn't occur? Can you remarry? If abuse has occurred in the relationship, are you able to file for a VAWA case? That's what we're going to talk about as quickly as possible. So first things first, if you're not a citizen, you cannot file a K1 visa. K1 visa petitions can only be filed by U.S. citizens on behalf of their foreign national significant other, regardless of the country the person is from. When the petition is approved here, the USCIS office will forward the file to the NVC. Foreign national fiance applies for the K1 visa at their consulate or embassy, and then they come into the country with a K1 visa. And it is the first thing you need to know is you've got to be a citizen to be able to petition on behalf of a foreign national significant other when you want to file a fiance visa. If you are a green card holder, you're not eligible to file a fiance visa petition. When the person comes in, so your fiance is here, the law requires that you're getting married within 90 days, right? Sometimes the marriage may not happen within 90 days because, most people are not even living together yet. And for instance, I've been married, I've been divorced. I was married for 15 years. And at this stage in my life, listen, hold your judgment. I just don't see myself not living with somebody and just marrying them, because I'm so set in my ways now that I need to know what you do and how likable you are when you're not, how lovable you are when you're not likable. So my point is, a lot of people file before their fiancés. They haven't lived together that long, and you've got a very short period of time to figure out whether you're getting married or not. 90 days. A lot can happen within the 90 days. So if the marriage occurs, then the petitioner goes ahead to file the petitioner files the affidavit of support. The K1 visa holder files the adjustment of status to get a green card. In a perfect world, that's how it goes. Unfortunately, people, things happen and things don't always go that way. So what happens if the marriage never occurs? Can the person who came into the country on a K1 visa, can they now, they didn't marry, right? Can they now marry somebody else? And can that new spouse petition on their behalf? On that basis, can they file a green card application? Short answer to that is absolutely not. Here's why. When you come in on a K1 visa, it is tied, that K1 visa is tied to the person who filed the petition on your behalf. It cannot be transferred to another person. So it's unlike a visitor visa or H1B or L1, whatever the case may be, another non-immigrant visa, where it doesn't matter, you're not restricted to or you're not restricted from being able to change status or adjust status if you have another basis. If someone comes into the country with a K1 fiancé visa, they are stuck and attached to that petitioner as long as that they haven't left the country and come back on a different visa. If you remain in the country, you did not marry the K1 visa petitioner, there is nothing that can be done in the sense of you cannot now marry somebody else and then have that new spouse file on your behalf. The K1 visa is very restrictive, so it is attached to the U.S. citizen petition fiance. If marriage doesn't occur, that's the end of it. However, if you get married, and so let's assume you don't get married, can you now, if one of the reasons why the marriage did not occur is because there was abuse in the relationship, you started living together, you found out that you guys are just not compatible, the petitioner has now started being abusive, can you now use that treatment to apply for a VAWA case? Short answer is, the only way you can file for a VAWA case based on abuse when you come in a K1 visa is if you actually got married. There has to be that qualifying relationship to benefit or to be able to adjust status and file for a VAWA case using that qualifying relationship, whether or not you stay married or you get divorced. As long as the marriage occurs, then the K1 visa holder, if they've been subjected to your abuse, will become eligible to apply for a VAWA case. But you cannot remarry somebody else if you come in on a K1 visa and expect to now adjust your status. Like I said earlier on, one of my consults yesterday was someone who was told otherwise. So, he had consulted with a lawyer. The lawyer told him the same thing I told him yesterday. But then after consulting with the lawyer, he consulted with somebody who is not an immigration lawyer, but the person helps them prepare documents, and told him that, yes, he can go ahead and marry somebody else and they could file for him, right? He did as he was told. USCIS sent him a request for evidence to show that he actually came into the country with a different kind of visa other than the K1 visa. He could not show that, so his case was denied based on the fact that he did not marry the K1 visa petitioner. The K1 visa is attached to that person who filed for him. He didn't marry the woman, and since he didn't marry the woman, he's not eligible to now apply to adjust status based on remarried to somebody completely different. It just doesn't work that way with a fiancé visa. Now, if someone comes into the country with a K1 visa, they do not marry the K1 visa petitioner, then marry somebody else. That person they remarry can file a standalone I-130 petition for them without any issues, because an I-130 petition is a standalone petition. The only issue is this: they will not be able to apply for a green card in the country based on that approved I-130. Once the I-130 is approved, then that person would actually have to leave the country and apply for the immigrant visa at the consulate and embassy, solely because their entry on that K1 is tied to that petitioner who filed for them. If you come in on the K1 visa and then you leave the country and come back on a different kind of visa, then that is the end of that K1, that you will not be, you will no longer be ineligible to apply for adjustment of status. It's just that the K1 visa is very restrictive. So a lot of people are trying to decide, should I come, file for fiance visa petition for my significant other in their home country? Should I go there and get married and do a spousal visa? I usually recommend to start with the fiance visa. One of the reasons for that is it has a shorter time frame for when you start to when they actually get their K1 visas. However, and another reason why I recommend that is this: filing a spousal visa petition, that doesn't give you any other option, in the sense of, what if that gets denied? Then that's all. You're going to have to file all over again. But once you file a K1 visa petition, if for whatever reason that is not approved, you still have the option of going to their country, getting married, and now starting the spousal visa petition itself. That's number one. Number two, fiance visa petitions allow you to have that time to live together. If you've got not, you haven't lived together in the same country, let alone the same house, marrying someone from their home country, that means that as soon as they're coming with an immigrant visa, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just give me options. They come in with an immigrant visa, they're going to be stuck with you. That's it. Fiance visa gives you the opportunity to know how each other, what's going on, your personalities, do you mesh, all of that good stuff. The main thing is, as long as you get married within the 90 days, there's no requirement to file paperwork within the 90 days. What the requirement is the marriage must occur within 90 days. If the marriage does not occur within the 90 days and it occurs afterwards, but you still marry the K1 visa petitioner, then that is still fine. You just have to start an AOS application all over again. So bottom line, if you're coming on a K1 visa, that marriage does not occur, or you get divorced and now you want to apply for immigration benefits through another spouse, you're not going to be able to do that, because the law does not allow you to change your status from a K1 to adjust status from a K1 if it's not based on that the marriage to the petitioner that brought you into the country. If you are also in a situation where you came on a K1 visa, you did not get married, you have to have a qualifying relationship in order for you to file for VAWA if you've been subject to abuse. However, if you get married and the person refuses to submit like an affidavit of support on your behalf, and so you're not able to file your papers, as long as the marriage occurred and you've got proof that you were abused, then a K1 visa holder that comes and gets married and has been subjected to abuse is still eligible to apply for a visa green card on their own. So that's that in a nutshell. And no, people always go back and forth, but the first thing you want to figure out is, do you even qualify to file for a K1 visa, fiance visa petition? Number one, if you're not a citizen, that's not an option for you, and then you can go from there. So that's that in a nutshell. Is fiance Nigeria, Ghana, and everywhere. That's the process. Now, don't use the, because one thing I've seen is a lot of people come in, especially on the K visa, and they get here and they are maltreated, or the spouse is turned against them, or they do a 180, and it's like, day and night, who's this person now that I'm here? But the person is here, they feel stuck, no work permit, no identification, nothing. And you feel like you're at the mercy of the petitioner. Please understand, you've got an option. If you do marry and you've been subject to abuse, you've got an option with a VAWA case. If no marriage happens, you cannot transfer that to another petitioner. And that's all short, people. So simple, short, straight to the point. If you've got anything specific you want to discuss about your case, then we can always do that by scheduling the proper paid consultation. All right, so let's get to questions, and I'm going to take as many as possible. Y'all know the drill. If you put the questions in the comment section, then please do not duplicate the questions. I would really much appreciate that. Please do not duplicate. John, watching you from Pittsburgh. Thank you, John. How are you? You guys, I think you guys had snow today because my mom, my whole family lives in Massachusetts. I mean, it got on me. I've always been the I've never been a black sheep. I've been the, what's the word I'm looking for? The peculiar sheep. I mean, I've always carved my own way. I'm the only one out of my whole family that's not in the medical field. Some of us just have the gift of gap. We can talk and talk people till Jesus comes back. But they sent me photos of my niece and my nephews, doing snow angels and all whatever it is. I mean, no, I can't. I live in Chicago. I don't miss the snow at all. But I guess it is cold. I would assume it's cold and snowing in Pittsburgh too, right? Hello, Miss Tina. How are you? Okay. Can I travel with disclaimer, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case? So all responses to questions are just general information. Take it as you wish. But don't Emily asks, I don't even know. She didn't say nothing. No, it's just general information. Can I travel with VAWA parole, and how long does it take to process? There is nothing like VAWA parole. What you can get when your VAWA case is pending is to file for an I-131 advance parole application based on the fact that you file an I-485 application. Your advance parole is not based on VAWA. Let's clarify something. Petitions are standalone petitions. There's nothing that a petition by itself grants you. There are some petitions that give you authorization to work. For instance, if you file an H-1B R1 on an I-129 form, that approval notice gives you the authorization to work for that specific employer. Other than that, if you're filing something family related, for the most part, there is nothing the petition will give for you. The petition gives you the foundation on which you can file your green card application, and based on filing your green card application is how you file the advanced parole in a VAWA case. So it's not a VAWA parole; it's attached to the adjustment of status. Just to be clear, once again, y'all remember that beginning April 1st, USCIS fees will go up. So between now and April 1st, you still are eligible to apply for your green card application, pay the $1,225 without having to pay fees for work permit and an advanced parole application. Starting on April 1st, that's going to change. You will be looking at a total of, I think it's over 3,000 something. It's going to be more than double. Because each of those applications will now have their own independent filing fees. Unlike where fees are waived for I-765 and I-131 if you file a green card application, meaning go file what you can file now before April 1st. So let's see. Yes, once again, every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I come online. We talk about all things immigration. Okay. And please share. I'm trying to grow our YouTube community. So please share. That will be very much appreciated. I am a DACA recipient, filed for my VAWA in October. Since you mentioned DACA, I have got a social security card and work permit. And that's not the end goal. That's the end goal is to be able to get the status, permanent status in the country, right? But everyone's journey is different. So this guy has been here over 10 years, entered without inspection. He has been through immigration court. He's been terminated. Proceedings has been terminated. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least, for him. So just finally getting him his social security number and a work permit. Y'all haven't heard a grown man cry on the phone. That is the reward. It's just because just knowing that he's got that freedom now, there's nothing you just cannot explain that. Everyone's journey is different, and God willing, that is, the first step for him. Awaiting my C9 work permit. I don't have any immigration records other than denied I-485 from when my spouse canceled his sponsorship. Can I travel back to India without messing my DACA status? awaiting C9. Okay, so you're awaiting C9. So you filed a new one based on your VAWA case. And if you don't have that, so I'm assuming that your question is in the future, in the sense of once that is approved, are you able to travel on that without messing up your DACA status? There shouldn't be any reason that why that should mess it up, because keep in mind that even as a DACA recipient, if you needed to travel for medical issues, work related issues, you're able to actually apply for advanced parole. So I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to do it. Now, disclaimer, I'm not your attorney. I don't know anything about your case. This is general information. Yes. And so if you need to schedule a paid consultation, thank you, Ms. Avina. It's 30 minutes is 140, 45 minutes is 210, and 60 minutes an hour is 250. Hello, Miss Mary. How are you? Oh, you're welcome. Hello, Miss Tina. You're welcome, John. Absolutely. You are absolutely welcome. Let's see. Okay. Come on, say no. When my mom to say something. Let me see if I can remember. Someone help me. Something about see won't be and running here. Won't be and running no be. Only count. Come on, no be. But no you. Am I getting it right? My point is, we're talking about people who are like top teams in the African Cup of Nations. Ms. Abena and y'all Ghana people are showing face. Make it make sense. Kenny. Yeah, I said it. Make it make sense. So let's leave it alone, because someone else said Ghana and Nigeria. We're not talking jollof rice today. It's about, Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can be messy. Oh my God. Can you give an example of what questions they ask for a green card after that gets approved? They can ask you, if you've ever been convicted, you run through all your I-45 yes or no questions. If there's anything in your record that makes them believe you may be inadmissible, those are questions that they may ask you. They hardly schedule interviews for VAWA cases, or if they schedule interviews for VAWA related cases, either because that field office is just has a norm of scheduling, or there's a reason there's something in your file that's made them schedule an interview. Your hair is fine. Thank you. Is it harder to sponsor a same-sex partner to come to USA? It's not. I withdrew my wife's I-130 due to fight, and I told USCIS a lot. Now we're back together. Can I refile for her? You can, but please expect that USCIS, they don't forget nothing. So whatever it is that you had told them will come back. So if you told them that she only married you to get a green card, you'll be ready to prove that you lied or you were angry, whatever the case, and help to make that case as smooth as possible for her. Okay. Let's see. If your I-90 got denied, by what is going to happen next to your case? So I-90 got denied in the sense of they refuse to renew your green card. If that's the question, if that's your question, then what's the basis of the denial? They will tell you what the basis of the denial is, and that will determine what options you have. So in your situation, it's best to talk to a lawyer. What should I do if they deny I-485 with a pending I-130? You can either refile or file a motion to reopen. Does divorce affect one applying for a U.S. citizenship? If you're talking about how long you should apply, obviously, if you're no longer in a marital union with a citizen spouse, you can apply based on 3 years. You have to wait 5 years. But if you're talking about waiting the 5 years, will a divorce from that person affect your citizenship? As long as you were not the reason why the marriage ended in divorce. For instance, you did not have any extramarital affairs, and they didn't catch you in the act, and because that goes to affect your good moral character. What happens after that is transferred to another jurisdiction and how long does it take. It doesn't change how long it takes, which is 3 years. It's just going from Vermont Service Center to Nebraska Service Center. Sorry, from Nebraska to the Vermont Service Center. Let's see. But once again, please refrain from asking the same question so many times. Is it a good idea to file tax and child tax before going for citizenship? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. What do you mean is it a good idea to file child tax and child tax? They had snow up north Pennsylvania and Connecticut. Okay, I figured because they had snow all over in Massachusetts. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Dr. Olufunsho. If I filed for my work permit and got it on November 17 and my 18th birthday was May 17, did I acquire the ban? Huh? Do you also work in Kansas? Yes. So immigration is federal practice. So what that means is, as long as an attorney is licensed in a state, it doesn't matter what state. They just need a license in one state. They can represent you in any state. So, example, I'm licensed in Alabama and I'm also licensed in New York, right? 2 states that I have licenses in. But I'm not restricted to practicing immigration law in those 2 states. I can represent any immigration clients in any state as long as it is immigration, because it is federal practice and you don't, you need just one state bar license to practice federal law. Well, we get quite a number of questions about this, like divorce spouse from how do I go about it? No, I cannot help you with a divorce if you're not a resident of the state of Alabama or you're not a resident of the state of New York. Reason being, unlike immigration, divorce, or any other thing that is not federal practice, it's state specific. In those situations, you need someone who's licensed in your state. Well, as far as immigration is concerned, it doesn't matter what state you live in. I hope that was clear. All righty, let's go. Let's see. Okay. I've answered that. What are the chances that processing of 601 speeding up? Listen, there's nothing God cannot do, but I ain't gonna hold my breath about that. I want boys and go. Oh wow. T. I think okay, no. My oldest is in school. He's a freshman in college. So he's in college. So he's just me and my baby. Thank you, Miss Martha. They don't want to see your face. Well, they always want to see your face. Look at my baby, people. Look at my baby. That's my baby, TJ. Kid is such a handsome kid. But I mean, come on. They say he looks like his daddy. You remember when I don't know if you remember, as I told TJ then I said, TJ, I think it was one thing, you're such a good looking kid or something. He says, well, I look like dad. What is that supposed to mean? Like, so because you look like your dad, that's where you got your looks from? Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell your dad to come carry you in his stomach for 10 months and give birth to you and lay on the table and they open you and cut you up and pull you out. Go tell your dad to come do that.
I look like you sometimes.
Out. Bye. See, everybody say happy Valentine's Day. He is such a handsome kid. They say, can you hi TJ?
Where at? Oh yes.
See, and happy Valentine's. See?
Happy Valentine's.
You ready for that?
Wow.
Okay. Homework all done and all that? Well, that's expected, right? Okay. Anyway, that's my baby. Let's see. Okay. All right. So you are absolutely welcome. Can a medical doctor in Nigeria whose husband divorced when he got to America still get a visa to write third stage USMLE step 3? Um, you can only try. I don't know. I mean, there's no get applying for B2 visa is 50-50, so you just have to try. And the step 1, 2, 3 for the USMLE exam is what you need before you can start residency program. So hopefully you get it based on why that's a requirement. Can they deny your I-45 if your VA is approved? Then what would happen? What would that person do? um Who's up behind? That was my son. Can they deny an I-45? Yes. The fact that a VAW petition was approved is not a guarantee that your green card application will be approved. And that's why I always try to explain that a petition is a standalone thing. It's a standalone filing. Based on that petition, you're able to not apply for adjusting the status depending on what category. So a VAW case, for instance, when the petition is approved, that opens you up to apply for a green card. It is still marriage case, but admissibility issues have to deal with I-485. You're not dealing with admissibility issues when it comes to the petition itself. So the petitions can be approved all day, every day, but you still have to be found admissible for you to get a green card. So it is absolutely possible to have an approved petition, which you can get a work permit based off that, and still not have your green card approved. There is nothing that says it's not automatic. You've got to be. They have to find that you are admissible as a permanent resident to approve your green card application. Okay. Alrighty. My asylum is administratively closed and VAW approved. Where to terminate proceedings? BIA is where you're going to start. I would say definitely you want to get an attorney. If you aren't a green card holder, can you make your child come to the U.S. and visit a visa? Then you file. If the child is granted a visitor visa and they come to the United States, and as long as that child is under 21 and unmarried, green card holder can file for all children except married children. But if you're talking a category that is going to be faster, that's going to be F2A, unmarried child under 21. Even when they come into the country on a visitor visa, the first thing you want to find out is the priority date for that category current, in the sense of when you file, will they still be in valid status when they file for the green card? Because that's important if you are a green card holder. If you're a citizen, then it doesn't matter whether the person has overstayed. If you're a green card holder, then it matters that the child does not overstay and they're still within status when they apply for the green card application itself. Okay. All right. Let's go to Instagram. Yo, it's been a long day because I have criminal trials coming up exactly 2 weeks from today. Sometimes I'm like, why should we reach in the room come just read all kind of occupation that you say. Although my dad said there was nothing else he saw me doing. It was like there's got to be somehow you can use this mouth to make money. Aha! Here we are. Gotta speak into existence for real, because I remember back in 2000, 1995 was when I started college, university. No, so 95, maybe 96. No, I think it was 95. And then ASU, ASU strike was on for like a whole year. And then we're back to school 96. But anyway, no, 90, but 94 was good. 94, 95 is when I got my, because this year is my 30th year high school graduation. We have a reunion coming up sometime in the summertime. So I remember when I did I can't even remember. It's been 3 decades. I think it's jam exam, right? To get into college, right? University. Anyway, so I had two options. Actually was I was I got admission into Unilag, but they gave me admission to study English. Like I'm all day, every day. But then I had a second admission in an additional offer in University of Ilorin to study law. Go figure. Here we are today. My friends were like, let's stay in lag together. Like, I came with him. I came with my master. You go from morning to night. No, no. You're doing that. I will go far away to go study law. So we thank God for today. Hello. Hi, everybody. Mr. Bena, you started it. We'll finish it. I don't start no mess, but I'll finish it. I know Miss Hannah will come for me in 1, 2, 3, 6. She did. Yep. Ghana on your Jew. Nibo. Please. You go sit down somewhere. Okay. What are the chances of F1 visa that failed to finish his or her studies has to get legal status after I-20 was terminated? Depends on what you qualify for. Mr. Venus says, I love Niger people. Please, I beg you. Yeah, now you want to backpedal. I don't know. Keep fighting. I don't think you've, Mr. Venus, really, I've even been in a group of Nigerians. Like, those people around me, when I first got to where my office is almost 10 years ago, it took them a while to adapt to me because I don't think they've even ever dealt with a foreigner in that place. And they thought, oh, black woman, what does she know? You know how they feel like you're nothing, right? And then you shock them and you let them know you're not a pushover. I remember Nisha, the first year the comments were like, she's very, very feisty. She's too difficult to work with. She's very opinionated, and it was on and on. But now they're like, listen, just leave her alone. Just leave her alone. But hey, wherever we go as Nigerians, they would know that they don't forget. We can't forget us. And how. Oh Lord, they got stainless cup. She said she's sorry. Mr. Bennett said she's sorry. Robert Trophy, they didn't exactly. She's no, but she said she's sorry. Let's not drag her anymore. She's sorry. And once again, we represent immigration clients in all states. 334-341-4475. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 consultation. I think I said earlier, 140, 30 minutes, 210, 45 minutes, 250 an hour. Okay. Hey, Miss Juliet, how are you? Yeah, I heard of the Access Holdings guy. Oh, that was sad. Let me be mute. Yeah, B. Hello, Miss Phone B. How are you? Yeah, that was a sad one. Okay. After submitting your package, please, how long will it take to get a receipt notice? I can't say. You can vary from a week to 30 days or 45 days. I can't say. It depends on what you filed. If I see anybody wear it tomorrow, why now? Why now? Okay, let's see. Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions. Okay. Hey, mama, my mama is on. Yeah, Banky, shall I feel? Hello, Mr. Ayobami. Let's see. Hello, finest Shandy. Share route to London. Oh, you just said it. You also had snow today. Mm-mm. Y'all, just to give an idea how much we don't have snow in Alabama at all. Given we don't have those snow plowing trucks, no, we don't have anything remotely close to it. Like it snows, the whole state shuts down. That's what happens. Like it snows, the governor declares a state of emergency. That's really like if we have that kind of snow you guys got today, the whole state shuts down. No kidding. No, it doesn't happen. Kindly shed more light on prima facie. Doesn't mean my case is looking good. Asking for a friend. Prima facie basically is just that they have made initial or preliminary review of your case, and you've sent in something that satisfies each requirement on face value. Then they give you that prima facie determination to acknowledge that. But then they now go in to do an in-depth evaluation and review of your case. If they find that what you submitted was insufficient for any of the prongs, they send you a request for evidence. I have a pending asylum, getting married soon. Wife has a student status F1, not a citizen. Can I invite my mother for the wedding ceremony? You can. Nothing says you cannot if you have a pending asylum. You just have to disclose that. But it's still discretionary. Priority date is now a big thing. I'm telling you, like I've got about 27. I think the last time we counted was about 26, 27. I think it's 27 if I'm not mistaken. Approved national interest waiver petitions from 2023. None of them is able to apply for their green cards now because this coming March that we're hoping that they will move forward. USCIS has decided that they're changing the chart they're using. They're not going to use final action chart from March, and that means they're going to regress to November 2022. And I have a client whose OPT expires March. What's the first Friday in March? Because I know I have it down. So we're just trying to figure out. And his approval was March 1st. Was it March 1st, 2023 or thereabout? And I was like, oh, bummer. Yeah. I don't know. The priority date thing doesn't make sense to me. But the problem is, for instance, this EB1 category is current. EB2, within the last 18 months, USCIS has seen an uptick in the number of petitions that are being filed, especially when they started the premium processing. So because they have many more petitions being filed in that category, that has an EB3 as well, that is making visa numbers less for them. So that's what's going on. Can one file for advance borough while you want to renew EAD before April? Does one need to pay separately? If you've got the pending I-485, then you don't need to pay for advance borough as long as to pay a filing fee, as long as you pay the filing fee of the I-485 and you file it before April 1st. Exactly. Don't mind them. Everybody come inside. I want you. Okay, so yeah, one girl. Yeah. Miss I've already told you, you don't want to look for Nigerian people's trouble. No, you don't. You don't. Just leave it alone. I can Dennis. Hello, how are you? Ekale. Okay, that's it. Do NIW do interview for green cards? Hardly. If they schedule an interview, a 45 interview for an approved I-140 self-petition, there's a reason why it's scheduled. I think in almost 10 years of doing national interest waiver and even EB2 employer sponsored, I've not had up to 5 interviews scheduled, and I've lost count how many I've done. And those interviews there were specific reasons. One was because one of my clients did not tell me They had worked without authorization for about 2 years. When they're on F1, that's a no-no. Another one, I knew upfront that she had a criminal record, but luckily it fell under the petty offense. So, and then there was another one that was out of status when they filed. And then, we came in and tried to do a calculation of, okay, 180 days, when does it start? It was because they had been laid off on an H-1B. It's usually a reason behind it. Hardly do they schedule interviews for employment-related cases. I've been coming to USA since 2014, 10 years ago, but I finally stayed in 2016. My EAD was approved in early 2018. Do I qualify for the 10 years naturalization program? What naturalization program? What 10 years naturalization program? Because I don't know everything, so I don't know if there's something. Please pray for us. Some of us are tired of green card issues. And yo, Suini, it's draining. Like there was a case I was expecting an approval today. But what happened? I got an alert that they sent a request for evidence instead. My heart dropped because I was like, the day I mailed that case out, that was up till 4:23 a.m. And I had to be up by 5:45 because I need to get ready for court and get my kid to school. So you imagine getting an alert that there's an RFE. And I think it was 400 and something pages of work. Well, what will I do? I have to remind myself, just like I tell my clients, okay, how do we tackle this? Because what? God still remains in control. So that's what I would tell you. God remains in control. It is heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. It's tiring, but God remains in control. That's all. At the end of it, God remains in control. Can I go for an interview with expired passport? You don't need if you're talking about outside the country, then obviously you need a valid passport. Talking of your green card interview, there's no requirement to have a valid passport. How long does it take after removal has been thrown out of court for your green card to be re-adjudicated and approved, and also a pending work permit? Have you notified them that your case has now been thrown out of court, wherever your green card application was, and then you still now go back to your processing times based on that field office? Okay, let's see. Everyone says happy Valentine's. Hey, Joel, let me know what Valentine's, Lola. Some of us, who's going to volunteer? Like, who wants to come down to Alabama for real? I'm not kidding. Like, what did I do last year, Valentine last year? What did I do? I can't remember. Did we? I think we had a light. Can't remember what she last year. Don't know. Hello, Epic Movements. How are you? African mom activated. let him go back into his father's stomach and let that father carry him for 10 months. People say his 9 months. No, it's 10 months. 40 weeks is 10 months. And then they cut you open because his head is too big to have a natural birth. And then you've got to deal with C-section twice. Let them go tell the father to do that. Then I look like my dad. Nonsense. I'm telling you, every opportunity. Teaching Yoruba. Listen, he understands. He's picking up things. Yeah. I could hear it. Someone's mother voice. Go put a shirt. I don't even bother. I don't bother him with because I'm the same way. Like y'all, that's the TMI. But I don't like clothes. Those who know me know I don't. I remember growing. My dad is like, "Oh, my, you know, wash up," because I had two brothers. Like, "Oh, you know, wash up." Clothes are restrictive. I mean, first of all, I think it was a man that invented a woman's bra. To be honest, because there's no way in hell you're going to tell me a woman decided that I'm going to torture everyone like me and let's restrict us. No, you can't tell that to me. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Can I cancel my asylum first before putting in marriage case? No. That's a huge mistake you're going to do. Your getting married has nothing to do with your asylum. Let your asylum be your backup plan. If you get a green card and the asylum is still pending, then you inform them that you want to withdraw at that time, not before you put it in. Okay, let's see. Okay. One thing about Nigerians, they can't even drag us. Am I going to drag her before you drag us? So what do you want to do? Um, you said it depends on what he or she qualifies for, how, and also is there any chance of getting legal status? That's exactly what I'm saying. You've got to sit down with a lawyer and figure out what you qualify for. Okay. Let's see. Tell him it's find a chance. She's looking for trouble. Don't do it next time. Go and sin. Go and sin no more. You gotta love this girl, ladies. I'm telling you, it's a riot. Yeah, go and sin no more. Don't do it again. Mm-mm. Yeah, I was up to. I got about an hour, 20 minutes sleep that night. I can never forget. And then I got an RFE today. That's but I can't. I can't. I mean, you've got to keep going. What can we do? You've got to keep going. If after filing for VAW, can I refile after under normal marriage with the same girl if we got back together, but her not knowing that I had applied for VAW? You can, if as long as you've got a good faith and you're able to um lay foundation of good faith subsequent to filing for VAW. For real, I want to come, but I asked 2 weeks ago if I can be funny Shandy. I would have loved, I'm telling you. I got nothing planned tomorrow besides working. But I mean, the girls got to take it. Listen, my mom was already saying, "Go up and do my fair." You've got to be someone who is so patient. Like if you're a guy without patience, you can't deal with me. I have a very strong personality. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for. I'm in between being a feminist and a traditional woman. I'm not your typical. No, I'm not traditional in a whole lot of ways, but I do not disregard the traditions. I don't know if that makes sense. But I am so. For instance, I'll give you an example. I can wake up one day and make you breakfast and actually serve you breakfast, and then the day after, I may just tell you to go make your own breakfast. That kind of craziness. So you don't know what you're going to get each day, but that's what like makes life interesting. But that would have been lovely. Um, Still waiting for my VAD to be approved. 31 months, just venting with yo. That's okay. We're all waiting, and the waiting is what kills me. Quote unquote kills me. The waiting is just unjustifiable. It's draining. I had a client who is literally starting therapy now because he lost his wife in the process of waiting for all this, had to switch over to widow's petition. It's draining, and I don't think they really understand how much anxiety and just pressure is placed on immigrants generally. Hello, Island Gal, how are you? Does it mean that every VAG case must read 3 years before pressing for approval? Most of it. Some can be approved in 2.5 years. I had one approved last year in 5 months, and then we've got some still pending 3 years. The average time is just 38 months as of yesterday. I don't know what it is saying today, and then some in between, but that's the average. So it's not it doesn't mean everybody's case is going to take that long, but most people's cases will. And some are pending even more than 3 years if they say they have additional background checks to do. So Mr. Ben Finance Channel says, Ms. Zone, be careful, but we love you. Can someone file for a sibling that is already on American soil? You can't file for a sibling. The question really is, will they be able to adjust status if they're here? As long as your sibling is ready and able to maintain a valid status for the next 15 to 17 years, then that's fine. The I-130 is not the problem. It's them maintaining status when they are eligible to apply for a green card, which is taking 15 to 17 years for siblings of citizens. I'm telling you, the stress is, yeah. What if our driver's license address doesn't match, but we do live together? It should match. Go to your DMV and change that. That is one of the pet peeves for USCIs. They will make a case. If they ask you, and they do that a lot, let's see your IDs. They ask you your state ID or driver's license. You've got two different addresses on that. I guarantee you one of the things they will do after you interview is to contact your DMV to see your address list. So it's always best to have the same address on your driver's license and or state IDs. You don't want to have red flags in your case. I want to do a consultation. Please go on our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, or send a text. Lydia is somewhere here, but she will get to you when I'm done. Or if you call, we have answering service after hours. They will provide you with that information. But it's a lot easier to just go on our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, so you get to do that. Anytime I hear 15 or 17 years with siblings, my heart, it's really sad and very ridiculous. That's what we're seeing. So yeah, okay. What could delay I-485 approval after VA has been approved for 11 months now? Medicals requested for 2 months after VA approval. At month 8, I scheduled InfoPass and was told has been transferred to the field office. It's 11 months already, and I feel frustrated. You've got to wait. There's no other way to put it. You've got to wait. The one thing as immigrants that I love, especially for Africans and Caribbeans, epic moments, we raise your hand if you have the patience of a 2-year-old. I am an instant gratification person. But let me tell you something. When I first became a mother 19 years ago, motherhood would teach you patience by force, or you will learn patience by force. Especially in the US, you will learn. But even with that, an instant gratification. I want something, I want it done now. USCIS and immigration process will teach you to have several seats and just wait. There's nothing you can do. If you've got a reason to expedite, that's fine. Generally, we're all waiting. If you check your I-485, it's probably still within normal processing time. The fact that you file an I-485 based on a VA is not different from, it is still adjustment of status, family-based adjustment of status. That's what it is. So that's what you're looking at. And for the most part, most of them are within that range of 12 months to 30-something months of, processing time. That's what we're seeing. So you just have to be patient. Unfortunately, you got to be patient. Simone, thank you. Appreciate that. I filed for VA, now I received I-130 interview. What can I do? Sit down with a lawyer and discuss what your options are moving forward. My appeal motion was dismissed and remained denied. What happens now? See what other options you may qualify for, but that's probably going to be the end of that appeal motion process. Okay. Can you talk about green card conditional removal? Does some apply for citizenship? I have no clue what you're asking me. I don't understand your question. Can I still apply for declaration of birth for a child over 3 years? Declaration of birth from where? As a U.S. citizen, do I need to notify USCIS of a divorce? Unless you have a petition that is pending and you want to withdraw. But other than that, if the person already has a green card, you guys are just getting divorced. No, you don't have to. There's no reason to. What city are you in, Alabama? Demopolis. It's about an hour from Tuscaloosa. Your hair is spectacular. Thank you. Let's see. My mom is late. Sorry to hear that. She was a green card holder before she passed. Can I still get some access? There is very specific grounds, or there are very specific grounds that you have to satisfy to know whether or not you can. Did she file for you? If she never filed for you, then there's nothing to be deriving anything from. She must have filed for you, and either she passed while the petition was still pending or was approved and before you adjust status. So if nothing was filed, then there's nothing you can derive from that. Okay. I lived in USA before I left to Canada, but I want to visit USA. Please, can you handle that? No, we don't apply for visitor visa for you. You got to apply for yourself. And if you overstayed before you left the USA, then keep in mind that you may have triggered a permanent bar. But I don't know anything about your case, but you can always apply for a visitor visa. As long as if you didn't overstay, then I wouldn't. There's no guarantee, but there shouldn't be any problems. But if you overstayed, then you may have triggered a permanent bar of some sort before you left. Okay, let's see. If you're convicted with a DUI, is there any chance of being in the United States? So it depends on how it is categorized or classified in your state, and whether or not it will be something that will fall within crime involving moral turpitude. First time DUI, simple DUIs usually don't have any impact. Where they may have, unless you just never know. An officer may decide that it impacts your good moral character requirement, but for the most part, they usually don't make a big deal out of that. Can I divorce my husband when my VA is approved? He is still in jail. There is no requirement that when you file for VA that you have to remain married, or you have to remain married until your VA is approved. No. Then because keep in mind, you're able to still file for VA even after a divorce happens, as long as you file within two years from the divorce. So there's no requirement that you've got to remain married when you file for a VA case. Can you please say when visa bulletin will be current or improved for EB2? I don't work for the Department of State. How can I say that? They decide when it's current. Everyone waits each month to see what happens. And just like yesterday, they released one for March. We just wait till about March 11th and see what happens. No one controls that besides the Department of State. I-751 pending since November 2021. So give or take, you're about month 27. That's how long it's taken, anywhere from 24 to 30 months. If you qualify for citizenship, that's when that you can push your case forward, in the sense of you file for citizenship. They've got to adjudicate your 751 at the same time before they can approve your citizenship. I'm a citizen. My wife and my son, I-130 is pending. How can they visit or for vacation? They can apply for visitor visas. Okay. I-45 was denied while I-130 is pending. What is the best option to reopen or refile? It depends on the reason why it was denied. Based on the reason, that would help you determine whether to refile or reopen. If you're not sure, sit down with a lawyer and figure out what the best option is. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's that. All right, 9:40. Okay, we got to go. Okay. Can someone use parole documents to visit Canada even if you have pending application? Keep in mind, your parole document is not for you to be able to visit other country. Advanced parole is for you to come back into the United States. So if you're going to a country that requires that you have a visa, you've got to apply for their visa to get into that country. So just to be clear, because I'm not sure what you mean by can you use parole documents to visit Canada, unless you're saying you have an advanced parole, would that be sufficient for you once you visit it to come back in, as long as it's still valid? But your parole, advanced parole, does not give you authorization to travel into another country without a visa or knowing what their requirements are. Okay. All right, people. That's all the questions. I think we'll do questions on Thursday. Let me be the third day. We'll see. But listen, it's all frustrating. We all have our days. I mean, if it will be a great, I mean, imagine if everybody's case is approved. Well, unfortunately, that's not. USCIS is not set up to want to approve your case. They're set up to make sure they're approving cases that are legitimately qualified. And so it takes a lot, and they're also understaffed. It's taking much longer for things that would have taken. I've had I-130s filed for spouses and underage children that were approved in less than 3 months, even up until 2020, right? But things have changed. Waiting periods are much longer, and it's frustrating. It can get depressing. But then we've got to also understand that, like I said, we all deal with this. I am someone that I am so committed to what I do. I am every single case that leaves my firm, and we've got hundreds of cases. And sometimes when we my paralegal may be done on a particular case, but the delay is probably on my end because I'm not going to send it out until I have reviewed it. But does that guarantee an approval? It does not. But when things like that happen, where you've done all you can, and then you don't get the results you want, or you still have to wait, what can we do besides just waiting and putting everything in God's hands? And so that's what I beseech you to do. Just leave everything in God's hands. And it's a long way where we're from. It's a long journey. Some of us have been on this journey for 6, 7, 8, 10 years and still no permanency. And then you've got some people who come in and get a 2-year green card or 10-year green card just like that. But I always encourage my clients, you cannot compare your case to somebody else's case. You did not come to this world at the same time. Your journey is not the same as theirs. It's completely different. If you're going to use someone else's clock to run your own life race, you're going to lose because you're running somebody else's race rather than minding your own business. My mom says God cannot fail his own children. It's impossible. God cannot fail. It's going to take a while, but the Bible says the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come. God has given us the assurance that whatever it is that we have placed before him, it shall come to pass. Sometimes the result is not what we expect, but then we will be to question God. But at the end of it, we just have to keep going, and we have to keep going and trusting that for every single step, for every single occurrence, he's got a purpose for it. Hopefully we're able to open up our minds to accept whatever that purpose is and lean on him to give us direction in the way forward. I'll see you guys on Thursday.